We here, y'all. Welcome back to my channel, Watch Your Mouth Reviews. This is your boy James, where I am here to give my honest review while trying to watch my mouth. And it is not about to happen this video. So you know what? We're gonna live to fight another day. I promise you. But joining me as always is my co-host, Mrs. Besh. I'll say what's up to her. She waving, y'all.
Hi, y'all.
Make sure you
I'm
subscribe.
happy to see everybody who is here. I am happy for everyone that watches and supports James's channel. I do hope you guys subscribe to his channel. I am not happy with this premiere.
All right, all right. And yes, and while you are subscribing to me, please subscribe to Mrs. Best channel. Any reviews or recaps I don't cover on my channel, it's because we on her channel. We have Real Housewives of Miami. We also have the concluding factors, at least I hope, of Deb's house. So we will see, what that turns into this week. But yes, join me for any reviews or recaps that I don't have here. They'll be there. DM Rocks. Hey, he says Stacy is the new Mia. I actually beg to differ.
She is still the new Mia in terms of her being a liar. The only thing is, I don't think Stacy is lying in current season, but she did lie to us last season.
Mm, until I see the court documents, that's when I'll believe she's a liar. Until I see them.
James.
Hey, Q1J, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. I'm sorry. Until I can see the court until I see, because he hasn't put out the receipts. He has not filed the paperwork. I have not seen the court documents. So if anybody has the court documents, please send them to me so I can change my mind.
Still lie. You don't need no court document to know that this lady lied. Now, if people want to get into the semantics of the lie as it relates to TJ, like did she pay him, did she not pay him, then it's like, okay, see some paperwork. But it was very clear, one thing everybody can agree on is that she was not in a relationship with that man.
Oh no, she wasn't in no relationship with him. No, I agree with that.
That is the lie.
I agree with that.
Why she's being compared to people like Mia. But in recent times, that's why I say today, for what we saw at the time of filming, I don't think she was lying at that time no more. I think she did what most people do when they are new to reality TV and doing their first season of something. They lie, they try to keep secrets, or they perpetrate. So I always give people a pass if it's their first season. But once it's not your first season no more, then I'm like, okay, bitch, get it together.
I just don't want to call her the new Mia. That's where I'm getting at, because I don't think that, because to me, if we're going to be clear, Gizelle has lied about a relationship on this show. Karen has lied about the current situation that this first episode revolved around. Karen has lied. Karen stayed lying. Ashley has lied as well. So
Ashley is the lie. I'd just like to add that.
Yes. So when we say Stacy is the new Mia, Stacy can share that title with a lot of them, because they all have lied on this exact show. So you know who the actress is? Oh my gosh. DM me on IG and tell me who it is, because I want to know. I will share it. I won't say anything. Or if you bold enough, put it here. I'll remove the comment once I see who it is. But yeah. I want to see the documents. DM Rocks, do you have a copy of the legal documents where he's suing her? Because I can't find it. Did he even file them to the courts? Did he pay $75? Because I want to know now. I really want to know. And then I'll change my mind about this whole Stacy thing. But until I see that, I'm not changing my mind, because I believe Stacy.
Regardless, I think without even getting into the episode, Stacy has more of a storyline than Ashley, Gizelle, and Kiana combined. So yes, regardless if she told a lie last season, as it relates to this season, she's the only one who's interesting enough, it seems, and with a storyline that did not make me want to go to sleep.
Fair enough. So the episode opens up with this, I don't know who that is.
She's not Veronica from Shameless. She's a PK actress, but she's probably most known as Veronica on Shameless, the US version, which was on Showtime. But then she also has played a bunch of different roles. She's actually pretty talented, but I'm just like, that's a really random person to be wrapped up in some stuff.
I don't know who she is. So that's interesting. Hi, Shayna. Thank you for being here today. We appreciate you, my love. You guys, make sure you subscribe to Shayna's channel as well. It is in my description box, as well as you can click on the comments and subscribe to her channel. She also does recaps, not on this show. She did do like a little fun little chef's kiss of a video. I think it was yesterday. But directly speaking, Shayna does all the other shows and has interviews with certain, reality TV celebrities. So y'all go ahead and subscribe to Shayna and watch those shows and tell her James sent you. So anyways, but Karen. So Karen, we're seeing this montage of September 2nd, because that's when Karen was released from prison. So she is, you gonna talk about it live tonight? All right, I'm gonna make sure I'm there, Shayna. Appreciate you. So Karen is in there saying, "Can I have a tissue? How are you doing, sir?" And it was so dramatic. And it was like, oh, Lord, here come Karen. Karen going to be on, I'm sure she's going to be on the finale episode. I'm sure that's going to be her reintroduction back to the group. Pretty sure that's how that's going to happen. So, but before we go there, we go 6 months behind time. And we're at Gizelle's house. And Gizelle is getting ready because she's about to have Ashley, Stacey, Kay, and Wendy to her home. And Ashley's the first one to show up, and they're like, okay, so, what are we going to talk about and everything? And they're going to talk about Karen, but Ashley lets it be known that she just recently linked up with Stacey and the kids. And, they had a nice out. They showed a cute little picture. And Gizelle wants to know, are we going to get into the TJ things of it all? And she says, oh, yeah, we plan to. Absolutely. And as they're talking about Stacey and everything, Karen and Wendy pop up and they ring in the doorbell, knocking on the glass and trying to get up in the house. And so Kay just opens the door because, they know they're coming because, production is already there. We already had this discussion on my channel about entering homes unannounced. Production knows they're going to walk in. So they walk in and, they are talking about, Stacey, and Gizelle noticed Stacey got a new car. And Ashley lets it be known that that's actually a loaner car because she's having her new car custom made. And Stacey walks up, she belches, and I said, ew, Stacey, why would you do that on camera? And Larry talking about your breath on already, like, Lord, just giving them ammunition, girl. Stacey walks in, and they immediately talk about Karen. And I don't care about this. Mrs. Best, do you care about this? Okay.
The thing is, Karen went to jail. She's gone. I wish they used the opportunity to show that they can give us a show without mentioning Karen or without Karen, instead of talking about Karen as if you were all in a great place. As quiet as it's kept, a lot of people don't want to hear this about the Grand Dame. She is great for a read and a confessional. She is funny as hell with her moments, yes, but Karen was highly private, didn't really want to share all of her business. It was not the closest with these ladies. I think once the original Potomac women left, I think that's where a lot of Karen's legitimate or stronger relationships left. So why are they talking about her? Then you got half of the people. Stacey, you just fucking met her. Wendy and her was not cool. Ashley and her had like this. You could tell Karen just did not fuck with Ashley, but tolerated her. The only person who really should be like impacted by Karen, in my opinion, is Kiana. Because even Karen and Gizelle was hot and cold. So I'm just looking like y'all are so disingenuous. Like
I agree.
Go to jail, but you're using somebody else's pain to make y'all relevant when none of you hoes have a storyline.
Right.
Will be one of you. I will not speak on the new girls, but of the people existing, only one of you got a storyline.
Exactly. And I 110% agree with that. So I'm gonna move on from Karen because I have nothing to say about Karen. I really don't. Until Karen bring her ass on camera, I have nothing to say about Karen. I really don't. I don't care. Moving on. So Ashley brings up TJ, and wants to confront her, not about what she heard about the lawsuits, but wants to know about the reunion and did Stacey lie and pretend that was her boyfriend? Stacey goes, absolutely not. I did not lie. And everyone's like, Stacey, come on. Like, he's already come out on Instagram saying you owe him some money. Stacey said, that is not true. I don't owe him. I would never pay a man to be on this show. And Kiana goes, okay, but wasn't it known that you were trying to come on the show for years now? And she told Kiana, she said, look here, I've been on TV for a very long time. I don't need to be on the show. Realistically, I don't. Now, when the show presented this opportunity, I was leaving QVC anyway, so I took the opportunity. Now, do I believe Stacey? Yes, I 110% believe Stacey. I believe when her contract was up with QVC, she was like, okay, well, let me parlay it into reality TV because it can't be that hard. Mrs. Best, do you believe that Stacey was trying to get on the show for years, or do you believe that she just happened to get on there right at the time she was ready?
One, I'd like to point out it doesn't matter. I don't care how she got here, but I don't think that she was like desperate to come here for years. I just don't. It is very likely that Bravo approached her. When Lisa Rinna was leaving QVC, they approached her to do Housewives of Beverly Hills. Bravo has a history of approaching people on QVC and bringing them onto their shows. It's also a network where you could come from any background and end up working there. But I don't think Stacey had to beg for it. She also has a rich, colorless ex-husband/husband. She didn't need to do the show. I think she's just here for her own independence after QVC.
I agree. And everyone, especially Kiana, is jumping on Stacey, talking about you lied about TJ, you lied about this relationship, you just lie all the time. And Stacey's like, I don't know what's going on here. So she looks at Giselle, and Giselle's like, well, Stacey, you need to be accountable for this. And this group were all accountable. And I just looked at Giselle. I said, when are y'all all accountable, Giselle?
Giselle, starting you was on here, in the words of Monique, a couple seasons ago, trying to act like you and Pastor Holy Whore was actually a thing. Meanwhile, less than a couple months after the season aired, Pastor Holy Whore ended up engaged to another member of the congregation who was also a pastor. So Giselle has faked the relationship. Ashley, in my opinion, was faking a relationship. I personally felt like her relationship with Michael was dead for a very, very long time. And that's probably why it took so long for her to get a doggone divorce. Wendy and Eddie don't share nothing real. So, I mean, I think their relationship is real, but they're not going to show us nothing really too real within it. Outside of family and stuff, they're not going to show us them. And Kiana can't say shit to nobody when she came over here with the social worker that makes you question behavioral health as a whole. None of these women can say anything. None of them.
Yeah. So Stacey had enough and picked up her purse and left. Didn't say bye to nobody. And then when she was getting in the car, she says, I'm not going to be friends with any of these bitches. And I hollered because I was like, that was a hot mic moment. I know it was. I know she didn't say it right there in that moment, but I know she told production, I'm not about to do this. And I don't blame Stacey, because at the end of the day, we can all retract a time or two where each one of them ladies have lied about, maybe not Kiana because she's new here, and maybe not necessarily Wendy either, but Ashley and Giselle, absolutely, we could retract some lies they have told to stay on this camera. So let's not act like Stacey did some egregious thing where it's just terrible, where she's not supposed to be on television no more.
Especially Giselle, when your most recent lie was the reason somebody left the show because they had to protect their peace during a pregnancy after you lied on their husband and his income and all of that was impacted. So Giselle should stay away from anything with lies. Giselle, the best thing you could have done is if you wearing a dress that looked like one of the Clark sisters would wear if they wanted to rebel in this picture. She should have played the auntie that she is to the group and tried to step in and be like the mother figure, something. But instead, she owes some other shit. But yeah, they some lies. They all lies.
So as Stacey has left, Giselle says, okay, so we weren't going to tell y'all ladies this with Stacey here, but now that she left, we can go ahead and say it. So the actress that I've had on my screen, which I'm hoping, because we're supposed to keep her name a secret, Because I don't think she's been revealed at all by anybody in the sources. So DM Rocks, I appreciate that. I did delete her name out. I don't know who she is, so we're just gonna say allegedly for my channel's protection. Allegedly, the actress. So in terms of that, she says that the lady showed them documents of everything that was out there, everything about TJ suing her, not so much for what he was paid, but what he was not paid. So apparently he was supposed to take 50% of her earnings from the show. And what earnings means is that all the episodes check is how they get paid by episode. And the 3-part reunion. So he was supposed to take 50% of that whole earnings. And that's how I don't believe this, because there's no way I would have promised him that. There's no way she should have promised that. Girl, you was better off coming on the show single. Promising someone that. But if that's what it's out there, until I see the court documents, I don't feel like paying $39.95 to get it from the court office, because I don't really care one way or the other. Do I believe it's possible she could have paid him? Yes, absolutely. Do I think she should have?
For that? Like, can you even sue for that if there's no?
That's why I don't believe it. There's no contract. Yeah, that's what I said. Was there a contract? Like, was there a contract?
Technically, if that was the case, they could exactly. If what she does with her paycheck is what she does with her paycheck, that can't be brought to court if that is the case. But
that's why I don't believe there is one. That's my exact reason why I don't believe there is a case. I think this is hearsay. Did she probably say it out her mouth? Probably. But unless you got written documents and it was notarized saying, hey, this lady promised me 50% of her earnings from this Real Housewives of Potomac, I don't like there's no other way to prove it. And I think that's why.
Even if that's the case and she admits it, it's still not making you bitches interesting. This was a dry season premiere. It was. I was bored through half of it. Like, so they're doing all of this trying to come at Stacey, but it's like, coming at Stacey, we're bored. I don't want to see you talk about the reunion in a new season unless like a huge bomb was dropped. If anything, you would think that they would be on here talking about how happy they are that Mia's gone or speaking about that. But to speak on this TJ thing, I'm like, he wasn't a cast member. It was what it was. He's not here this season. Like, this Potomac Housewives have a really bad habit of not knowing when the fuck to move on.
I agree with this comment. They are trash for ganging up on her, because that's exactly what they were doing. To me, I feel like they're all jealous, especially Giselle. And this was a way, and that's why that comment, I don't remember who said it. They said Giselle was better. I said, no, she's not. She just found a new pawn, which is Ashley, to do her dirty work. Because if Ashley wasn't going to do this, Robin was going to do this. So Giselle knows what she's doing. But y'all everyone's so mesmerized by her. I just don't get it. Like, everyone's so mesmerized by her to do her dirty work.
I think Ashley's mesmerized. I don't think the women are mesmerized. I think what happens in a lot of the franchises is happening with Giselle. She's been here since season 1. She was part of what made the show interesting. So I feel like people like Ashley and some of the new people are always gonna end up falling for her mess in some way, just because they probably think if they can attach to her, they'll stay on the show, or have a problem with her, they'll stay on the show. I feel like Potomac needs to like take a break. They need to scrap half these people and come back and figure it out. But that's
I agree. So we're gonna move on. So we move on to, what do I want to talk about? Because I'm not talking about everybody. Because Wendy had a boring ass scene, so I'm eliminating Wendy.
Congrats though to Eddie and his success. More
yes, definitely congrats to that. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not talking about any of the, yeah, congrats to him. That is amazing, especially that's only a 2-year-old business. They've only been doing it for 2 years, right? Yeah. So
that's actually true, Shayna.
It wasn't. So that's why I'm not talking about everything. But I do want to say, yeah, thank you for reminding me. Congratulations to Eddie. So we're gonna talk about Karen. So Karen has her new condo. Remember, she had mentioned that she had moved out and got her own place. So this is our introduction to her new place. Her mama comes over. I love her mama, by the way. I love that lady. she comes over and they talk because apparently Greg, the boyfriend that we all were in utter disgust of last season, surprised her with a trip to Jamaica, and she said yes, she'll take a trip to Jamaica, and that rekindled things. So her mama came over, and I'm paraphrasing y'all, I'm not saying verbatim. Mama said, look, I ain't raised you to be no suck up to no man who can't give you half of what you can give him. You ain't finna be doing this and putting us through all of this with this man having him treat you all any kind of way on TV. It's not about to happen, Kiana. I raised you better than that. That's pretty much what the mom said. Like, that's not what she said, but that's what I got. And Kiana, you know, just says, no, it's different this time and we're taking it slow and this is what it is. I feel like she's wasting her time. For a man who don't want to be on TV, you sure was, you know, hell-bent on making sure that business got shown on this television show. So, you know, I'm just saying. But other than that, that was pretty much all they talked about. Is there anything else you want to add with Karen, the storyline before I move on? Because that's all they talked about. They didn't talk about nothing else special. So
yeah, Kiana doesn't really have much of a storyline. I think Kiana becoming a housewife is just the example of Bravo being desperate and needing to replace Robin with somebody, and really anyone was better than Robin. I think Kay was meant to be a friend of, and I think
I
that
agree.
he will continue to disappoint us. I don't have anything bad to say about her thus far, but I was bored with this. I think her and her mama look like sisters, but
yeah, mom is beautiful. I love her mom.
I just want to say to a lot of women, like, if a man wants you, it's going to be very clear that he wants you. He will not stop. When men are determined and want something, they will absolutely go for it. Not allow you to live in another condo and take you on Jamaica and think that everything's okay. If I go on a trip to Jamaica with my husband when we not in a good place, we probably still gonna find a way to be bending it over and having all sorts of fun and stuff in front of the ocean and doing stuff. You're on vacation. That's not realistic at all. So Kiana, find something else to talk about, please.
So Dean Rock said, I saw Kiana's IG live last night. She said Wendy gaslights people, then plays victim.
We all know that.
Yeah, I don't why what's this supposed to be like? I didn't watch. I saw she was on live last night. I didn't go on. I didn't click on her live. But for this to be said about Wendy, that was our problem with Wendy. She did this a lot her first season and some of her second season. Now, the rest of the seasons leading up to this one, it's been scarce. But no, she does gaslight and she does play the victim a lot of the time. However, there's a couple of them seasons that she was on, mainly with Candace, that I don't think she did that. And if Kiana is talking about this situation that we see here, I'm not going to agree with her. Because I thought that's not gaslighting her and then playing the victim. That's even utterly being confused.
Do that. The situation with Kiana and Wendy is not big enough that you would need to go on social media and talk about how she is or what she does after you see that after everybody saw the little trailer that we all looking at you like you are reaching. She needs to be a friend of. Kiana's giving Shamia.
Very much so. I did skip a scene, you guys, and it was with Stacey and her husband. I didn't really care.
You have to dig into that.
No, because
you do if you recap of the show, because this lady's whole relative. First, you allegedly lie about dating a man that to me was gay last season. Then that turned into he allegedly says that you paid him half your salary and all the rumors. Then now you back with your husband after nobody can find your divorce. It's not much to say about it.
Yes, that's why I don't want to talk about it, because
I'm just kind of like, okay.
Because here's the thing.
What changed that he's so comfortable to not just get back with you, but come on television?
Because he saw the show last season and saw it wasn't what he thought it was. See, I don't think her husband ever watched Bravo. He don't look like the type. He don't look like the type. So he probably thought this show was going to expose something about their marriage that he didn't want them to see. Like, I don't know what that could be. Like, I don't, but it definitely gives like you weren't comfortable being on these cameras, but once you saw Stacey and then her like entertaining some man for whatever purpose it was, whether if it was for pay or for acting, whatever it was, you then saw it really wasn't that bad. And now you bring your ass on here. So to me, I don't think her and her husband ever got divorced. I don't believe that. I also don't believe, like, if they were divorced, I don't believe they got married in the state of Virginia. I don't believe that. I don't believe they got married in the state of Virginia.
That was like a whole thing without skipping too much ahead. I know that's mentioned. Oh, we can't find your divorce. Some people can choose to keep their sealed one. You won't be able to get it that way. And then secondly, from there, okay, what states did you search? If you just search the DMV area, there's not very many states. It's also a bunch of very tiny states. So it's very likely they could have gotten married elsewhere. This man is an international businessman. It may not have even been out here. You don't know. But
yeah,
their relationship, I understand why Stacey, there was too much chemistry between them.
Yes, I will agree there.
I am married. I only separated from my husband at one point, like 7 years ago, for like a month. But like when you separate, you can sense it. It's almost like people getting to know each other again. These two people seem like they comfortable and have been comfortable for some time. And it's saying, oh, we don't want Arabella to know. I feel like they kept mentioning the daughter to make it seem as if they really were married. But you know what I think happened, James? I think they were going to get a divorce. It probably did have something to do with this show, because that's a big transition and that is disruptive in a marriage when you're changing careers and coming home and then wanting to go on TV. Like, it just seems like they were going to get divorced, but when she went to court and was like, I don't want, what did she say? She doesn't want child support.
She just wants alimony.
She just wants alimony, which is going to be much less. I feel like that probably had him excited or something and led them back to each other. And I feel like she knew what she was doing through it. Like, Stacey is not as ditzy and dumb, we said this last season, as she lets it off to be. And she's still that gutter bitch from Detroit. I know she is.
Yes. So from what I understood, based on what one of my friends told me, and this is all alleged. So in her kind of circumstance, because she was married for 16 years, she actually would have gotten a bigger settlement if she would have chose the alimony, because they were going 50-50 split, which means he has her full time a week and she has the baby full time a week. So it wouldn't make sense to get child support in that circumstance when you can just do a 50-50 split. And if she's getting the alimony behind it, then that overcompensates what she would have gotten for child support. That's what the theory is that my friend said, watching the show and watching how she didn't have a reaction and how she defended the child support, not getting it so hardly. That meant that she was probably getting more in alimony. So, yeah.
The problem I have, though, not to like diminish anything you said, is I think this is why some people will compare cast members like Stacey to people like Mia who just lie. Because after so long with you telling so many lies, it's like we could wonder, we could bring up court, we could bring up all of these logical instances that could apply to Stacey, but I still get the sense with her, there's still stuff we don't know that she's lying about. And I don't know what to believe and what not to believe. I do like her this season, and I'm here for how she's handling bitches. If you play with her, she's going to get up and walk away. You won't get a scene. I think that's appropriate for these ladies. But I also feel like, come on, Bravo. When new people come on and start lying, can y'all like have a talk with them or an intervention or something? And that's the other thing, Kiwan. It is weird, because everyone was like interested in the season, because part of that was because we saw that Stacey was doing stuff with Chris Samuels and we knew Monique was coming on here. But now it's like, okay, we know it can't be that bad if you back with your mans. So what is the big damn deal?
I don't believe this story. I don't believe her and Chris Samuels did anything.
I don't either. That's why
I don't believe that.
But that was a point of suspense that made people interested in the season. And now
I didn't even believe it when they said it because it was like it's random. Stacey of all people.
But now the what could have been and any potential is just gone. And so it's just like, okay, we're not. I don't know what they're doing with this season. I
don't know either because it's just as
scrambling.
It's just as random as Giselle dating Mauricio. That's just as random. So yeah, I don't believe. I think so too. I think she heard something and she ran with it. But anyway, y'all. So that's all I'm gonna say about Stacey. Good luck. She looks happier with her husband. I wouldn't leave either because I heard that man is worth a lot of money. So I wouldn't leave either. I would stay right there in my home with Arbella and everything else. So there. How she said Arbella. Yeah, I'm gonna be right there.
I cannot stand the way she says that little girl's
name is so annoying. So me and Arabella. And it's like girl,
not a fucking Disney princess. She's a kid. Look, the way Stacey talk, I just cannot. I can't.
Whew, Lord, girl, I can't. I'm telling you. So where else am I? So I talked about. I didn't want to talk about Stacey. I wanted to go and answer over that until I know more. That's want to talk about it. But that was Stacey. I talked about Kiana. We're gonna move on.
You know that, right? With Stacey, we will never know more.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. Oh shit! Sorry. They will be texting me now when I'm doing this shit. Okay. Sorry to check in my doctor's appointment because these people be tripping when you come up in there and then you don't check in. Ugh. Anyway, y'all, moving on. So we then meet the new wife. Her name is Angel. Angel's friends with Kieran. They've been friends since they were 18, and she's married to Bobby Mace, some shit. I remember when football wife. I remember him from the Cardinals. He used to play for the Cardinals back in the day. I remember him. It took me a minute, but I remember him. So, and I think I remember her too because they said she worked at BET. She was one of the red carpet interviewer journalists. I think I remember her from BET. I think so. I got to know the timeline. If I know the timeline, then I might remember her. But so they are talking about, their backstory and everything, and they go on a little hike, and she's, giving her a rundown of all the girls, and she says that she's very disappointed in Wendy. She said that there's been a couple of situations that she's had with Wendy recently that, makes her have pause on their friendship. And then the producers are showing flashbacks on a cast trip. She had to share a room with Kay, and Wendy said, I'm not sharing no room with Kay. And they also had a more recent event where Wendy came up to Kay and said, hey, without even saying hello, she said, did you do your own makeup? And I was even more confused. And I'm like, what's wrong with that? But okay. Angel says that she knows of Wendy. She said that her college roommate was like a big sister. So she knows of Wendy. She doesn't really know or went to school with her because Wendy is older. By the time that she entered in college, which was 2008, the year I graduated, so me and this girl are the same age. She said Wendy was gone from college. So she said that she's, cool girl for nonetheless. And, hopefully she still is cool when she sees her. So that was pretty much it. From what we know of Angel, her and her husband own like a ranch style where you can go horseback riding, go fishing. A lot of what like Candy from Sweet Addictions TV does now. She owns a ranch out there in Atlanta. That's why she's not on YouTube no more. But she's trying to make her comeback, which shout out to Candy from Sweet Addictions TV. She was one of the very first YouTubers that I ever saw when YouTube was like not really a big thing back then. She was one of the first that I've ever saw. So shout out to Candy from Sweet Addictions TV. I hope she does make a comeback on YouTube. But yeah, this is what Angel owns. Her and her husband own that together, and they want to own one in the Potomac area. They want to open up another ranch. That is a big business. Like a lot of people don't understand why that would be a big business, but it is. Especially when you do horseback riding. Everyone loves doing that. Dirt biking, all that. So pretty good. And like DM Rock says, I like Angel too. So far, so good. She doesn't strike me as somebody that is messy or anything. She seems very authentic from what I can see of her based on this first episode. Now that can change nonetheless. Hi, Shani. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So This is best. How did you feel about Angel, and how you feel about Angel and Kierna's relationship on the show?
I like Angel. I don't like that she's known Kiana for so long. It's never good when you bring people on who have these relationships for too long. Look at Shamia and Portia, all the housewives of New Jersey. I just don't think it works out too well. I hope they're able to maintain their friendship and don't let the show impact them. But I don't mind her. I think she's a better fit than Kiana, and she's an actual wife. Can Kiana become her friend of?
Yeah.
Like it's not going to be easy to convince Angel to do certain things, or it's not going to be easy to convince her to gang up on people like these bitches are doing with Stacey. I like that. I'm starting to see Kiana slip down to this, down to her even mentioning Wendy. Kiana, shut up.
That's what I'm saying.
What
Like
the businesswoman running that med spa. Now it's giving one of them like pretty
thirsty
girls
ass.
sedity and thirsty and just
Yes.
like, what are you doing? Go to Basketball Wives if you're gonna act like this, Kiana. Please stop.
It's like, girl, come on now. I know you're not letting this show sell you out like this. Like, come on. Like, please don't do this. Like, please, 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 please do not do this. Because if you do this, we're going to read you for filth. And I actually like Kiana. I do. But this episode, I could not get with her. We'll get more into it. Is there anything else you want to add about Angel? Okay. So Stacey and Ashley meet up. Ashley is having her second Bloom event. And we're just as confused as everybody else on the cast. So what the hell is a second Bloom event? So,
can you bloom a vocal coach and a new wigologist into your life?
I'm sorry, but Stacey had me hollering when she said that. I'm sorry, I was hollering because Stacey's saying what we all thinking right now. But Stacey shows up to the store, and she's coming in good spirit, and she's asking Ashley how the boy's doing and everything. Ashley wants to talk about this whole TJ situation. And because Stacey said, it hurt my feelings, like that y'all are sitting up here ganging up on me. Like, what was that about? Like, in Kiana too? Like, what is going on? And Ashley is like, Stacey, you're just not being truthful. You're not being honest. Like, are you really divorced? Stacey said, yes, I'm divorced. She goes, I can't find it. Why is it not in any of the databases, Stacey? Stacey was all like, Ashley, I'm divorced. Like, it's not going to be on any database. It's not going to be there. And she goes, that's not true. Marriage is public record. Divorce is public record. And we're like, Ashley. So production is
invite somebody somewhere, and before they can even get a drink in their fucking hand, you are questioning them about their divorce when it took you 17 years, 16 days, 463 minutes, and 1900 milliseconds just to file for divorce. And then it took you another 47 years to actually get divorced. And the first thing that you could fix to come out your mouth while that wig was on your head and your forehead looked like it was fighting for oxygen is you want to ask this woman about her divorce, talking about you can't find it. Bitch, we couldn't find your divorce either for many years. And now you pop it out, I'm divorced, after butchering Roberta Flack's song. Why is Ashley still here? Why is she here? She has nothing.
oh, damn, Shani.
We can't. I haven't seen it. They showed us the ceremony, but no legalities.
I know Robin Dixon ain't playing us like, not that I care because I don't like Robin, but I know Robin ain't out here playing us like this.
She's probably in the house right now. I mean, we had the ceremony. I'm just wondering when, we should like make it official. I know she's in that house just running everybody just
stone cold crazy. Hell, Juan probably ain't even there. Anyways, let's go ahead and
He's at the laundromat.
At the laundromat. Putting change in the the wash machine, the
Gotta get
turbo
them
wash.
quarters.
Got to get them quarters. Yeah. So no, the only reason why Ashley's still on the show is because her and Giselle have the white woman adjacent colorism thing going on, and as I said, as Candace said on that one reunion, it's very obvious why they're still on the show. Neither one of them have a storyline, but they're vetted and they get championed for being the mean girls on the cast. How does that work? Because I guarantee if this was Wendy doing this, Wendy would be hated and then off the show.
Where's Ashley's mama in that wig? I feel
Sheila.
like there's more we could see because she is going to drag this divorce being finalized throughout the whole season. And when she can't do that no more, she's going to comment on her questionable renditions of Legend songs. But what does Ashley have to show us? Let them kids be kids and grow up. I don't need them to be on this.
Me either. I don't need Ashley to be here either. Her 15 minutes of fame should have been ended. So Stacey's getting frustrated and she walks out again. And Ashley was like, Stacey, don't walk out. Like, why are you walking out? And then this is when Ashley mentions her breath. She goes, I had to sit there and face Stacey's hot ass breath, and she couldn't even sit here. And I'm the one that should have been sitting here. And I'm looking at Ashley like, you know what, Ashley? I don't care what Stacey breath smell like. You're the one attacking her. So whatever she give you, you deserve. Sheila's under the bridge with that. Oh, Keywan. Ashley should have never said that. So see, you threw your own mama under the bus for a storyline. So girl, come on now. Get out of here with that. So
that's why they need to hire people that are like me, but who want to be on TV. Because I'd be throwing that in her face at every moment and would not.
Every moment I can get. Yep.
I would not give a fuck. You worried about me, but you ain't got enough money to change your mama's wig, bitch. Like, there's a lot that people could say to Ashley, but for some reason they just don't. And Stacey, Listerine.
No, you know what? I was looking at her mouth because those are veneers and her gums are very black. So I'm like, she might got gingivitis, like, or halitosis, because it looks like because those veneers, you know how veneers like are supposed to cover your actual teeth. So I think maybe her teeth are rotten underneath the veneers and she probably is not getting them done. Because it looks like she doesn't get, because guys, when y'all have veneers, let me tell you, that's one of the most dangerous things you can do to your teeth. I know people do it because it's a nice smile, and it is, and it does do some corrective action. It does, but however, understand that they're covering your actual teeth, and your teeth need oxygen, which is why I will never date a man who has a grill, because I'm not finna go through that. I'm just not finna do that. So for me,
an example too, because niggas with girls be having funky ass breath. I done dumped a few myself in DP Stokeland. They stank.
Yes, like no, that's the worst thing you can do. I remember before my current came into my life, there was another guy who wanted to talk to me, and he had a girl. He had the bottom half, and when you smelt his breath, I told him, I said, that is the worst thing you can do to your teeth is put that grill on. He goes, you don't like the grill? I said, if you smelt your breath, like, that's the worst thing you can do because your teeth need oxygen. That's the whole point of why we breathe. So that and to live, of course, but the whole point of your teeth and how they stay fresh is actually oxygen. So I don't know why you would do that to yourself. No. So it looks like for me, because that looks like veneers in Stacey's mouth. It do. And her gums are black. So I think her teeth are rotten. I do. And I think that's why her breath smells. And I want her to correct that. Like, I do, Stacey. If that's really what's going on, that's not flattering, nor is that cute. You're a beautiful woman, way too much of an statuesque beauty for you to be sitting with your rotten ass gums. So yeah, I know someone with post grill and yikes them teeth. Yeah, it's the worst thing you can do to your veneers. Are actually not good for your teeth. Like any dentist will tell you.
Any dentist,
they will tell you.
My mother-in-law's been in dentistry for over 30 years, and she was telling me crazy stories about it. But essentially, it's the same thing like plastic surgery. If you could keep the body that God gave you and just make improvements naturally, that is the best thing to do. Things that used to be done for people that had accidents or had no other choice are now being done for people who don't really need them. Stacey, but based on how her wigs be looking, I'm not surprised that her breath stank. I'm not. I'm really not. You could just tell when somebody got funky breath. It's in their
I just,
spirit.
yeah, it's in their spirit. But when you look at her gums, you like, oh yeah, there's definitely something going on there. I don't know because I'm not, y'all. I didn't get that far in dental school. I did not. I did not get that far at all. So, but for where I did get, I know.
My husband is
Yeah.
laughing at this live. He just walked in from work and it's like, wait, it's a dental lesson.
No, I'm just saying, like, I can see the periodontal disease. I'm not trying to diagnose her, but yeah, I can see it. But anyway, y'all, we're gonna move on. So Ashley is messy and calls Giselle and reiterates the conversation of what's going on with Stacy and everything, how Stacy walked out. Giselle's getting a kick. I mean, just getting a laugh, just shaking her legs and everything. And it's like, oh my God, it is not that serious. Like, really? Nick. Okay. So she tells Ashley that she's going to bring her friend Tia. It's a friend of hers that she's had for a minute. So she's going to bring her to the party. And Ashley goes, okay. And we don't know much about Tia. We get a small introduction to her this episode. So I'll talk more on that once that scene comes on. Anything you want to add to that, Mrs. Best?
No, sir.
Okay. Is there anything I'm missing? Because I'm going to go to the party. Is there anything I'm missing? No, I'm going to go to the party because that's all. So it's the day of Ashley's little event. It was nice for what it was. Everyone is showing up. Stacy, because we were unsure if she was going to show up, she actually shows up. She comes with Wendy, and I thought it was like a production because they show Wendy in the car with Stacy and Stacy's friend AJ, who we wanted on the show from the very jump. That's the friend she should have had on the show with her, the little messy queen. I love him. But if y'all peeped in that scene when Stacy was getting out the car, Wendy was in the car with her. But they made it seem like them two came separately. I said, production, y'all not slick and y'all are cheap. Because I know that Stacy lives in Virginia and Wendy live in Baltimore. Them is totally two different directions. Y'all are cheap as hell. Anyways, that don't mean nothing. But I thought that was funny. Because you could tell Wendy was hot up in that dress too. Because it was a lot of dress. It was beautiful, but it was a lot. So, not you had to fast forward. But anyways, they are coming up in there. Giselle comes with her friend Tia. Now Tia is a descendant of royalty. From what we understand, her grandfather was a prince descendant of Nigeria, and she said that she's a real estate mogul. Why are you doing that? She said that
Nigeria, ho, you here? What you do here? Are you royalty here? The fuck do I give a fuck if you're in royalty? If anything, in today's political climate, you tell me you a royal or you in politics, and I'm side-eyeing the fuck out of you. I want to know what else she has to show.
Well, apparently she's into real estate. She does luxury real estate. I did some background check on her. I guess it is legitimate from what I understand. She has twins. We don't know if they're boy or girls. That's how her and Giselle bonded. Giselle, how long have you known this lady? Because it's given you known her 15 minutes before that car ride. Probably. But I'll let it go. But she's a very pretty lady. And her accent is a little a little put on. I'm not gonna lie. I've been around British people a lot. That's a little put on for me. Like, she's really making sure that she stands out. So when Stacy walks in and she immediately walks in and she's like, hi, everybody. She introduces herself to Angel and ignores Kay. And Kay's like, hi, Stacy. Hi, Stacy. Just putting her hand all in Stacy's face. Now, I said, now, Kay, we know you can fight. And you knew who to do that to. But that was rude as hell.
Last time somebody had their hands in Kay's face, look what happened.
Yeah.
He was in tears and in the back of an ambulance. But now you want to put, don't laugh, babe. It really happened. But now you want to put your hands in somebody else's face. What's wrong with these old women?
I was like, that was rude as hell. I was like, and Stacy goes, hi, how are you? Like, the fuck? I would have been like, first off, don't put your hand in my face. I don't care if you can fight or not, Stacy, but get your purse and start to swinging. That's all I can tell you. Because that disrespect was crazy. Like, hey, you was on one with that one. So Wendy come, I'm trying to tell you, like, I thought I was the only person that was like, has she lost her mind? Like, what are you doing?
She has. She's doing whatever she can for a moment. I would have bit her fucking finger just to teach her why you think some of the stuff that animals do is relevant and we maybe need to follow. And maybe then as humans, we will learn how to mind our own fucking business and respect our own space. You wave your hand too much in the dog space aggressively, they're going to snap at your ass. Same thing.
Right.
They're going to swat you or bite you. People like that need to get swatted or bitten.
I'm trying to tell you because I wouldn't listen. It couldn't have been me. And I know some of y'all gonna say, "Well, James, her hand wasn't all in her face like that. It was well enough to where it was disrespectful."
All right.
That's all I know. Because if I don't see you, I don't see you. And let's be clear, Kay came at her. It's not regardless of Stacey lying or not. Stacey's lie didn't affect Kay
at all.
So I don't understand what we're talking about here because a lot of people online was like, okay, well, Stacey was rude and didn't say anything. If I don't see you, I don't see you. Stacey wasn't even looking in that direction.
Let me tell y'all this also. If I don't want to greet somebody, I don't give a fuck if you're in my face. If I don't want to talk to you or greet you, I'm not going to do it. And however you choose to take it is however you choose to take it. But if the girl ain't cussing you out, being disrespectful, rolling her eyes at you, which Stacey was not doing, then keep all of that to yourself.
Right.
To yourself. It's not that deep. Why are you so pressed by who acknowledges you when they come into a room, Kiana? Why are you so pressed about that? You need to go to your social worker, LCSW Greg, and ask him to refer you so you could get some sessions and figure out your thirst. It's not making sense.
It ain't good. That was crazy. So everyone comes, gathers around because Ashley's gonna make her grand entrance. That dress was about to swallow her. It was way too much dress, and she was going downstairs. And I said, "Ooh, the perfect opportunity for her to fall and bust that big ass forehead would be too much to ask for." But it is what it is. She managed to get down the stairs, but she made a little speech. She goes, "Well, this is called my second bloom because when I had my first bloom, I was married and about to have children. So now I'm doing a second bloom to have you guys understand that I am now single and divorced. And this is my new coming of era." And I'm looking at her like,
I just want everyone to remember she was never a restaurateur. She had one restaurant with her husband that it seemed
that closed.
Yeah, that she had to convince him to get, that almost destroyed her marriage, and that she ran into the ground. When he finally stopped trying to run the restaurant and the argument stopped, it closed.
Right.
I just don't laugh, dear. I just want to remind everybody of that.
That's why I didn't.
After your husband was caught on camera essaying production, he was grabbing virgin holes and cheeks on camera and cheating on her in thongs on camera, and then she magically ended up pregnant. That's all.
I'm dying at Shandy's comment. The restaurant closed because don't nobody want no damn kangaroo meat and dingo fat.
We don't eat that.
I guess you can turn a pro into a housewife that could get a good settlement. Did she get a good settlement?
I don't think that Ashley's settlement is as good as everyone would like to make it.
I don't believe it either.
Also, $20 million. People are making more money now. It may
we have to understand
now, but I don't think it's she couldn't have got that much out of
in her median income. No, I don't believe she got that much either, because you have to understand that was a $20 million assets. That's not to say those assets actually sold for that amount. They're just worth that amount because she took a settlement offer. So usually when you take a settlement offer, that means you're not going to get the exact amount of $20 million. She might, to me, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to say allegedly, I think she may have gotten $5 million. And for where she lives at in Arlington, Virginia, that's not a lot of money and considerably in that area. That's, that does not go very far when the average person out there makes somewhere around 258,000 a year.
The
So
thing
y'all do the math.
about what people don't understand, the DMV is pricey. There's areas that are not so pricey, just like there are everywhere. But I would say after Hawaii, California, and New York, in terms of expensive places,
DC right up there.
And that DC, the DMV is probably up there as well. So I wouldn't be surprised. But Ashley,
yeah, no one cares. At the end of the day,
party, bitch. We don't want to celebrate your fucking divorce. You took so long. We didn't know if it was really happening or not. Now nobody cares. She really used the divorce for a storyline season after season. Now we don't care.
We don't. We just start dating on the show, and then that's when we'll care. Maybe not.
Because Ashley give me the type who'll date whoever's pockets is big enough. She don't give me the type that has a type.
Leave it to Angel. She was a bottle girl, so I said, "Oh, that makes so much sense."
It does.
That makes when Angel, because I never knew that. So when Angel put that out there, I was like, that makes so much more sense. Because let me tell y'all something. When I lived in Miami, and we go to the Blue Martini, those bottle girls looked exactly like Ashley, and them old ass, decrepit ass men were up in there trying to give them their phone numbers, trying to give them some extra money on the side. I saw it. So that makes a whole lot of sense now. It did. Thank you, Angel, for putting that out there, because Ashley sure was finna keep that shit quiet, because she didn't mention she was no bottle girl. We heard beauty pageants, we heard all kind of other shit, but we ain't hear nothing about no bottle girl. So yeah, absolutely, she did. That's why I said that makes so. When Angel said that, I said that makes so much sense to me now. Absolutely. I don't know if it was the Blue Martini. Hell, it was probably some shit like me. I had met G at. Hell, I don't know, because hell, they get that too. Anyways, y'all, we're gonna move on. So Karen is in the scene, but she coming later. So Wendy and Giselle are talking about Wendy's dress and how she asked Wendy, "Were you inspired by my finale dress last season to buy this dress?" And I said, Giselle,
hold on. I'm sorry. You've been here since season 1. It took you 7 seasons to figure out your hair. It took you 9 seasons to figure out your reunion look. In the 10th season, we finally seen a consistent improvement in your outfits. I speak for everybody watching the show who is or is not a fan of whoever on the show when I say, Giselle, you cannot say that anybody is trying to copy your fashion. We have been running from your fashions.
Literally.
For years. Like, I'm out of breath.
Okay, that's how exhausted we are. So, yeah. So as they're still in the conversation, Kay walks up and she sits down and goes, "Hey," in the midst of their conversation. And Wendy continued the conversation with Giselle, because it would have been rude, as she was talking to Giselle, to say, "Well, hey, Kay, how you doing?" back to Giselle. So she waits till she finished, and Kay was like, "Oh no, you're not gonna act like I'm not here and not sitting here." And Wendy was thrown off and was like, "Wait, the hell?" And so Giselle was like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna get up and I'll be right back." So Giselle excuses herself, and they sit across from each other. And Wendy looks at Kay, and Kay was like, "Let me tell you what my problem with you is, Wendy. I feel like when it comes to us, you kind of give me like this backhanded, friendship. Like, it doesn't seem like it's authentic." And Wendy is confused, and we all are too, because we were like, "The fuck are you talking about?" And she goes, "I'm gonna give you an example. I was sponsoring an event, and I told you that I'm one of the sponsors for this event that I knew you were going to attend, and you just completely dismissed me." And Wendy said, No. When you told me you were sponsoring an event, I sent you a text message and say, "Yes, sponsoring an event. Come on, girl, get your glow up." And she says, okay, yeah, that's right. And Kay was like, well, yeah, but when I got there and I saw you were on stage, you didn't even tell me that you were speaking. So Wendy was like, okay, I needed to tell you to that I was speaking at the event that you already told me you were sponsoring. And I get what Wendy was saying, because what Wendy is saying is that I don't want to tell you that I'm speaking when you told me that you sponsored the event, because then it looks like I'm trying to one up you. And that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to champion you. And Kay understood that. She goes, okay, I get that. But at the same time, you didn't even wave at me when you were on the stage. I sat down and I was like, well, damn, she didn't even say hi or anything. And I'm looking at Kay like, huh? So it continues. And then she said, and then our most recent encounter, we were in LA for the AACP award, I never guess NAACP awards. And you came up to me and was like, did you do your own makeup? And that was shade. And Whitney in her confessional was laughing and was like, girl, really? Is this what you mad at? So I'm going to give it to Mrs. Best first. Mrs. Best, is Kiana within her right from the start of this conversation where she was being rude and then giving Wendy the incidents of where she felt like Wendy falls short of a friend to her? Do you think she has a point? Yeah, this is because I know how she feels.
I'm just like, if we was really friends and you felt the way, why are you talking to me when cameras is present? You could have been had this conversation with Wendy. Why did you wait months and until cameras were present to present your issue with Wendy? I understand Wendy is busy, but she ain't teaching at the college no more, so I'm sure she got a little spare time. She don't like too many people on this cast. You were one of them that she did like. I know Wendy can be difficult, dismissive, but Kay is also a friend that don't have no kids. And I speak for all the friends who don't have no kids, because I ain't got no kids, but I got a husband. And I will say this about my friends that do have kids. There are certain times that they be busy, especially the present parents. There are certain times they be busy. So I feel like Kay, you should have been said something to Wendy, at least gave her the option to respond instead of coming at her strangely at an event. If you have a problem with someone, the thing that we should all do as adults, if we have to interact with that person, is present the problem and try to find resolution. If we can't, then shut up about it. Kay is looking to pick a fight with whoever will entertain her with one, so that she can have something to talk about on this show. Because now that her boyfriend slash fiance, whatever the fuck Greg is to her, nobody liked him. Nobody liked the switch of her seeing him. So she can't talk about him. Now he really don't want to film. So now she gonna pick fights and pull what Giselle and Ashley do, which is why people like Giselle and Ashley need to be held accountable. Because then you have new people like Kay who come on and are like, well, I'm gonna just do what they do and pick fights and start shit that don't make sense. You are coming for Wendy, and for what? And Wendy was nice. Because with me, I would have been like, bitch, the phone worked both ways. Wendy was nice. Wendy was nice, but I don't want to see this from Kiana. You're reaching. You're reaching.
Absolutely reaching, because to me, as I said, all of the instances of what you describe, Wendy's comeback was, I did not want to one up you. I did not want to insult you. I did not want to make things look like I was taking the shine out of any moment you were presenting to me. That is what I got from Wendy. I'm trying to figure out, how is she less of a friend? Because you got in your feelings because she didn't acknowledge you at a public event on the stage where she was speaking.
The same way we come for people like Stacey and hold them accountable for the bullshit with TJ last season is the same way people need to be coming for Kiana. You don't have a beef with her. You do not feel slighted. You do not feel like somebody was less of a friend to you. Because if you did, you would have said something to the bitch before the cameras came.
Yep.
Wendy would have acknowledged hearing something. Somebody in the group would have heard something as filming prepared. But you waited till the cameras came on to talk about this. You coming for Stacey for no reason when you just barely got here. Kiana need to be called out for the bullshit. Like, do something else. If you're gonna have issues with people, let them be authentic. Other than that, we do not want them.
It's giving to me that you got your real friend on the show, and now you trying to ice out Wendy, and you know the other girls are going to go along with that, especially Giselle and Ashley. I don't think Stacey's gonna go along with it because Stacey not seeing it for you right now. So I don't think Stacey's gonna go along with that. But it's giving you're trying to ice Wendy out because probably at the time before they made your friend an actual cast member on the show, it's probably given that if you ice Wendy out because you know the fans are bored of Wendy, this would make room for your friend to come on. That's what it's given to me, and I could be wrong, and I don't really care one way or another. But I know how this reality TV shit works.
I think Kiwan also probably has something that I think is also a very viable option in her comment because Kiana was very, very close with Karen because Karen was one of the few cast members to support her after the Sesame Street character came after her. So, and Karen did have a beef with Wendy, and I don't think Karen's changed. I don't. A person that's really changed is going to take their time before coming back on television. I don't think Karen has changed. I just don't. And I can see her using Kay as a way to keep the season interesting. And even with like her barely admitting to what she did being wrong, like I definitely think Kiwan is on to something with that. But I don't care about this shit with Kay and Wendy.
If
like,
she did,
not no way to get anybody off. Y'all bitches don't have no power. Maybe they need to hear more YouTubers say it. You're not production. You don't have no fucking power. Work with who you work with. If you don't like it, start your own show. I don't.
Yeah. Because here's the thing, Kiana. If you're, out of context beef with Stacey wasn't enough, this one with Wendy sure doesn't make any sense either. Neither one of those you coming at them to made any sense this episode. And I don't want to see this the rest of it because I know this is going to happen the rest of the season. But so far, Wendy to me, and this is me, regardless of what Kay says on IG, in this moment, I don't feel like that's gaslighting you at all. I think you misunderstood what the gestures were. And instead of being a real friend and saying, hey, I don't appreciate you ignoring me, even though it might be seem petty to you, it just meant something for me. Because I'm not saying she's not valid to feel how she feels. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is don't wait, like Mrs. Best said, don't wait till we get on camera and then you bring this to me for a storyline on this show. Because you don't want to talk about Greg or whatever else you got going on when you can be in your business letting us know how some shit work up in there. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to move on to the next little yelling match that we have on here. So it's Angel, Giselle, Stacey, and Ashley. So Angel and Ashley are being introduced, and Giselle's letting Angel know that Ashley's very sweet until she's not. And Stacey takes this moment to say, Ashley, I know you and I had our differences and everything, but I still was going to show up for you regardless of what I feel. Just being real mature about the situation. I actually appreciate that about Stacey because I wouldn't have came. If you calling me out about some shit twice, one about TJ and another about my divorce, I probably wouldn't have shown up, but Stacey was being the bigger person. Plus, Stacey won her check. I ain't mad at Stacey. So Ashley was like, well, I actually wanted to talk to you. I wanted to pull you to the side, because Ashley had made several digs at her talking about her breath and stuff. So Stacey said, well, does my breath stink now? And it was all up in Ashley's face. And I said, now see, Stacey, the same way I'm calling out Kiana, I'm going to call you out too. If it's being put out there, and I know you've already heard this around the group, that your breath stink, the last thing I would want you to do is then give me a full gas mask of that breath all up in my face. If I was Ashley, I would have mushed you for doing that because that's disrespectful as hell. I'll just take my word for it, your breath stank. You ain't got to put your breath in my face. Now, Stacey was wrong as hell for that. See, I'm being fair. I'm calling everybody out. Stacey was wrong as hell for that. Yeah. So, yeah, I was mad at that. I was like, now, Stacey, come on now. I was rooting for you. Now you done lost me. So they go out in the hallway with Stacey had her friend AJ with her, and then Tia come up there too. And I'm like, why is Tia there? But anyways, they get in talking, and Stacey's like, what is your problem with me? Like, what is going on? Ashley goes, Stacey, you misrepresented yourself in this group. You lied about TJ and your relationship. You lied about your divorce. And Stacey said, look, I am divorced. I'm just not going to show you my information. Like, get over it. It's not going to happen. And she goes, you know what, no, Stacey, you lie about everything. And I don't like that in this group. We all are honest and you're not. And she got the point in her face. Stacey said, girl, you better put that finger, get that finger out of my face. I know that's right. And when Stacey called her an imp, I almost died. I said, yes, Stacey, get her. Yes, Stacey, get her. And her friend gets frustrated because they're yelling. And he's like, what can she do? Does she need to show you the documents from her divorce? And Ashley was kind of put off because, one, he's a man. You could tell that she wanted to go in that direction, but she didn't. I was proud that she didn't because I was like, Ashley, don't you start that shit. Because, you know, she looked at him kind of like, why are you talking to me? Like, why are you in my ear? And so Tia says, look, in her little British accent, look, if she showed you the divorce papers, will that make any difference? Like, can we have a good time? Ashley doesn't answer either one of them because she don't know who either one of these people are. And she goes back to Stacey and still tries to get in Stacey's face. And she continues to point that finger in Stacey's face. And Stacey goes, you know what? You are the devil. And Ashley put her head down and was quiet. And I said, woo, get her, Stacey. I ain't even mad. Because Stacey can't read to save her life. But Stacey was like, I'm not finna back down from you. I done ran away from you twice. I ain't gonna do it no more. Wasting all these outfits and shit.
A read matters. A read is nice and necessary sometimes, but it's also important to understand when a read is not necessary and it's just going to go over their head. Like, I'm not going to waste a good read on somebody that's not going to receive the read coming from me. And Ashley's not somebody that's going to receive it. She's just doing what she can to stay relevant. Who the fuck expects for people to walk around with their divorce decree
on them?
Like, who the hell are you that I have to prove to you that I am divorced? Have you shared your divorce? You say we could look it up. Yes, but have you shared it? What if we don't feel like it? And something Stacey said in this episode that I love too, Ashley, is I'm sorry that you have the time to look up my marriage and look into me. Like, Ashley, is this what you're doing with your time? Is that why the performances you coming out flat and pitchy? Like, what is going on? I'm so annoyed with this cast.
I'm annoyed too because to me it's giving y'all really did not have nothing. Y'all had nothing but to try to isolate Stacey, talk about whether or not she's divorced. Like, it really matters at the end of the day. She on the show. This whole thing with TJ, I don't care. We knew the shit was fake when we first saw it. So who cares? Like, she paid someone to come on the show allegedly. Who cares? Giselle had a fake relationship on the show. Ashley, I don't know what the fuck you and Michael had because the shit was odd from the start.
Essayed people on the cast, disrespected other people on the cast, allegedly was involved with members of the cast that liked laundromats. And then your divorce was so convenient after the timeline that is considered to be a young marriage where you can't get everything that they have. Ashley needs to be quiet. I don't like that they do this. I don't like the gang up. That's what Potomac is really bad at.
Yes.
Other shows do it too, but I feel like Potomac does it in a way that pushes people off of the show. There's only a couple shows that do it that way, but they need to fix it. There's no reason people should be ganging up on somebody who actually is providing interest to the audience when those people themselves are boring. Kiarna, Ashley, and Giselle can go. And I like Wendy, but the way Wendy acts, Wendy needs to go too. She's not. It's not that I dislike her, but I think after she got Happy and Ness done, the titties, something within her changed. I don't know what that is, but I just don't care for her on reality TV.
It was crazy because once she got Happy in Ness, that's when I started liking her. So I didn't like Wendy her first season. I didn't. I thought she was way too elitist. And also, you know, just really wasn't what I pictured to be a reality TV star. Like, to me, it just felt like she was also drinking the Kool-Aid of Giselle as well, especially around that time. Because remember, Wendy's first season was Candace and Monique's fight. So it was kind of one of them situations where it was easy to attach myself to the wrong side of the love song.
I
So
don't think
that's
we ever got to properly assess her.
yes.
And I feel like we had to accept her because after Candace and Monique's fight, so much happened. Also, nobody gave a flying, you know, what about Potomac prior to that? After that, it got unusually popular. But yeah, I just don't think Candace fits the mold for reality TV, not to this extent. I'm curious to see how she does in the wife swap. But Wendy, I don't know. She just doesn't fit.
Okay. So right now we're at the season premiere. And usually I ask this question at the end of the season. But I'm going to ask this at the beginning based on their performance. Who are you keeping and who are you getting rid of?
I would get rid of Wendy. I would get rid of Kiarna. I would also get rid of Giselle. I would leave Ashley, and I'm going to explain why. Because Ashley doesn't have a storyline, but Ashley has audacity and an unusual amount of it. And if you were to get rid of Kiarna, Giselle, and Wendy, but keep the rest of them and Ashley, her audacity could potentially become funny. Because you don't really need a storyline with someone so desperate to be messy, but you do need people who will appropriately check her. And that's not going to happen as long as Giselle is there and Wendy doesn't do much. And I'd keep Stacy. I'd keep the new chick. I'm messing up her name.
Angel.
The one that I like. Huh?
Angel.
Yeah, I like Angel. I would keep her. Tia, I can't judge at this time. I just can't. I don't know enough about her, but I'll say I'd keep her as either a friend of or something. But yeah, definitely the main four, Giselle, Ashley, Wendy, and Kiarna, they can go. I don't think they have enough to give, and they're too underhanded and sneaky. It's like having a bunch of Marisols on the show. It just doesn't work for those who like House of Miami.
See, I would demote Giselle to friend of the show. I would get rid of Ashley. I would get rid of Wendy. And I would get rid of Kiarna. I would keep Stacy. I would keep Angel. Tia, I'm going to give her a first season chance. Who am I missing? Kiarna? I'm going to keep Kiarna. But yeah, I would get rid of those.
They need to.
Oh.
One thing I could definitely say, if they could also get rid of Wendy and Giselle, and I would be happy. But then I don't feel like Stacy would fit. But I do feel like they definitely need to not be afraid to get rid of those OG cast members because they're letting them go down and they're forcing people to fall.
I just don't want Giselle to get the Kyle Richards treatment. I just really don't want her to get that treatment.
She already is. She's been getting it.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying I don't want her to get any more of it. But interesting also enough, some people that are returning, Jazzy is returning. That's Mrs. Best's favorite person. Because, you know, if y'all remember, Jazzy was the friend that was with the football player. She's now married to the man, so I think her wedding will be a part of the show. At least that's what she said on the premiere night. I just remember her coming at all the YouTubers about this whole situation with his baby mama. I remember she was coming at everybody, and it was like, well, wait a minute. So I'm excited to see her. I wonder what energy she gonna come with this season. I didn't think she was going to come back. I really didn't. I thought she was going to be a one and done because she couldn't handle the pressure. But Jazzy is back.
He was released from the Chiefs and traded. So things may have changed.
I would be careful being traded like that so many times. Like,
I was a housewife myself for 6 years. And then inflation happened. And I was like, oh, shit, I got to help the Negro. So I got back into work myself. I see you, Jazzy girl. We're going to be nice to her, though.
I'm still trying to find that episode where you went off on her.
I didn't go off on her. I just told the truth and shamed the devil. That's all I can do.
But it had a little bit more a pressure on it than the normal, going off on somebody. Because that was wrong. You ain't got to go off on those YouTubers.
Diamonds come from pressure. Listen, some of the Lord's strongest disciples have had to go through the pressures of life in more ways than one. She'll be all right.
Obviously she was because she came back, so I can't wait to see her. I want to see what she gives.
She should be calm now because I think that's what was triggering her ass.
I don't know if that's what was triggering her, but yeah, Jazzy, please don't come for us no more, because that wasn't right, and you know that wasn't right. Like all we were saying was the baby mama came out and gave her opinion, and you could have easily gave yours and put into all this, and she did eventually on Carlos King's show, but it was kind of like you should have got ahead of this. But you don't come at all of us YouTubers talking about we need to mind our business and stuff. I remember I was so mad at her. I was like, "Girl, what you come on TV for?" Because best believe if I'm coming on reality TV, I'm coming with everything. Y'all can say whatever y'all want about me. I don't care. I'm gonna laugh with y'all. So that's just how it is. That But I don't like Real Housewives of Potomac, but I do. I love looking at the infrastructure. I love the DMV area. I keep saying that's one of my top 5 places I might want to live sometime in my life. So I'm still looking at it.
That don't make a show interesting. They need to. I'm hoping it gets better. I'm gonna give them time, but I hope it gets better.
We gotta get them 5 episodes. 5 episodes for it. And if it's messed up, I will drop this show halfway through. Y'all know I'm good for doing that. I'm good for doing that. When a show pisses me off, I'm good for doing that. So I don't think, because I usually stick with this to the end. I usually do, but yeah. And also, my next recap will be Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and the Braxtons premiere this week. I thought it was last week. Apparently it's this week. So the Braxtons will be back on. We'll be on Mrs. Best channel for Deb's House and Real Housewives of Miami Reunion Part 2. We also did on Mrs. Best channel wanted to do a relationships live, but that's going to be next week, you guys. It's not going to be this week. So sorry for that in advance, but we busy people. At the end of the day, we got lives, we got situations going. I actually ended up getting into something where I need to leave early, so it just wasn't going to work out this week. So we'll do it next week. It will be me, myself, Shayna_MCD, and Mrs. Best will be on her channel. So make sure you subscribe to her channel so you don't miss it, because we are going to give authentic opinions on reality TV couples and also some things that they experience that we can give good advice on. So make sure you're there for that. Outside of that, I will see you guys for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, unless something happens in the media that I need to cover. See you then, guys. Mrs. Best, thank you for being here. Have a good one. Bye-bye.